All right, everyone, we have reached Friday. This is the final morning briefing of the week from the Celtic Way with me, Hamish, him, Tony, and the other him, Ryan. Guys, how are things? As I say, I was going to say reached the end of the week. For me, it's the end of the week. You guys are only just getting started. A busy day ahead. Busy couple of days ahead today and tomorrow, guys. But we relish it, don't we? We can't wait to go, Tony.
Embrace the chaos, isn't it? Embrace the pressure. Let's do it. I can't wait. Yeah, you said it, didn't you? Embrace the chaos, and I'm all on board with that. I'm great, and I'm nervous, to be honest. These things, I don't know if it's because you've watched so much football. I've got a good feeling about this team and the manager, so hopefully that continues into tomorrow. But yeah, and my mood might completely change. But yeah, I think you've got to embrace it all, haven't you? And just enjoy it if you can enjoy it, I think. But people's nerves are frayed, I get that. And yeah, it's how you handle it, isn't it?
It is indeed. Some people saying the sound is off. Am I sounding dodgy, guys? Or
somebody's saying I'm breaking up, but I don't know if that's just
somebody's saying it's sorted. I don't know if they're at the BAM up or not. We're kind of at the mercy of people in the comments section. People are saying that's better.
And you know, now you've said that, they're all going to be saying it. They're all going to be going, oh no, it's absolutely. Like that. Who was the guy? And sorry for bringing this name up. I think it was Nick Griffin, that guy, the politician who did a live stream, and people the whole stream were saying, we can't hear you, and he spent the full stream thinking folk can't hear me, when in reality his sound was working fine. So don't treat us the same way as Nick Griffin. Come on.
Some of the pre-Hamish fans on the Celtic Way will remember when the chat was
Nick
infiltrated. No, he was the host before. It was infiltrated by some bots that kept on meowing. Honestly, there was about 600 comments that said meow, and it was all coming down the stream.
Oh, yeah.
And we were talking about the Champions League or something like that, and it was so off-putting.
Day, yeah.
We had to stop the stream early. It was too off-putting because you couldn't see any normal comment because there was so many meows. It was ridiculous. But it seems that we've sorted it all now, which is good.
You always sound dodgy, Hamish. Very good, very good. God, what are they like? Well, couldn't live without them, these legends who watch the channel. Right, we're obviously going to be chatting ahead of the big game tomorrow. A few other things we can tackle if we're struggling. I don't think we will be. Heard murmurings possibly of season ticket renewal stuff today, but we'll wait and see. Certainly the club haven't announced anything at this stage. Big thanks to MPH Boilers and Weissman for sponsoring this video. As you know, Weissman are a global leader in the boiler industry, so they're the big dogs globally, but they've also got Scotland's very own award-winning installation team, MPH Boilers, been with us for a while now, and they have teamed up. When you choose a Weissman boiler that's installed by MPH Boilers, you will get a free internet controller, and they're also offering the first year service for free, so it's your big chance. Check them out, links will be in the description, and we've still got this going, Ryan.
We do 6 months of access for £1, plus a free Kyogo Furuhashi print from renowned football artist made by Frankie. We thank everybody that has that's taken us up on this offer thus far. We're really exceeding the target, but we want to keep on going. We want to keep on growing the website to being as big as it can be, especially heading into the summer months when we'll be talking about players coming into the club. Hopefully do some big interviews as well. Get some of them in the pipeline that we're trying to work on at this very moment. So if you want to get involved and get your basically a front seat ticket, visit www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. You'll get the A3 print from Kyogo. Everybody's raving about it. So yeah, if you want to get involved, use that link and join us.
Indeed, and we appreciate everyone that's joined us so far, very much so. Right, what's the thoughts then at the moment, Tony, about tomorrow, as you say, embrace the chaos, etc. Is it going to be chaos? Is it going to be another nervy afternoon, or is there a chance Celtic come out and completely blow Hearts away with our best performance of the season? Please choose that last one.
I'll take the latter of those three that you offered me there, Hamish, but you know with Celtic that it's going to be a nerve shredder, don't you? It's just the way it is. I was sort of flicking through Twitter and social media the other day, and and it flashed up a game that you'll remember: Celtic 5, Hearts 0, and Gary Hooper scored all 5. And I was like, oh, and somebody put up a repeat of that tomorrow, please. And I thought, you know what, that would be lovely, because I think they scored they were 2 up in 7 minutes, or 8 minutes, 7 or 8 minutes.
Same day as Aguero.
Yes,
I remember watching that after it.
And so you kind of take solace and comfort from these things, don't you? And you think, yeah, it'd be good to have a day like that tomorrow. But we've spoken about it all week. I think the fans are up for it. They really are going to roll this team over the line, and I think the players and the manager sense that. So everybody's got their part to play tomorrow, and you can relieve some of the pressure and the nerves out by turning up. One of the best performances of the season was at Tynecastle in the 4-1 game earlier in the season. Lewis Palmer's beautiful through ball to Matt O'Reilly for the volley. I remember that for opening goal, and that was inside the first couple of minutes, 3 minutes I think it was. And so they're capable of it. Celtic have produced it this season in fits and starts and flashes. I'd love another one of those flashes tomorrow, please. And if they can blow Hearts away, it'd be great. But as ever, and I wrote about it the other day, and I'll flick it back up, it's not a revenge mission. You just want to win a football match. Just win the football match. That's all you have to do, and make that pendulum of pressure swing back down Govan Way and go 6 ahead for 24 hours at least. That was my piece the other day. I think I quoted Ange Postecoglou, Albert Einstein, and Francis Albert Sinatra. So there's something there for everybody, if you want to have a wee read at that.
You didn't quote Ange last night, did you? Because you'd have to have
I didn't know.
Yes,
indeed. And I saw there was various things trending about Ange today. But again,
not happy.
I know you wouldn't be happy with that. He's not our manager, so he's moved on.
Yeah.
We've moved on. So it's all about Brendan and the boys, isn't it? So let's do it.
It is indeed.
It was a bit of PTSD last night when he was shouting at the Spurs players for passing the ball backwards. Reminded me of a certain game against. No, I know he would have been shaking on watching his TV screen, being like, "That's just the past." No, it just shows you that he sticks to his principles, regardless if he's managing a team in Japan, a team in Scotland, or a team in England. He'll always stick to the same principles, and he'll want his team to do the same. Disappointing result for him last night, but all in all, a pretty decent first season for him.
Yeah, what kind of test do we have in the shape of Hearts? Because there's a little bit of unknown there, and I kind of touched on it at the end of the video yesterday. I won't labour the point, but they're pretty much secured third at this stage. Does that free Hearts up tomorrow, Ryan? Do we see a more attacking Hearts than we normally would?
I can definitely see them coming out to play, taking it. I don't want to call it a free hit because they've still got to get the points in order to get third place, and they'll be desperate to get that as soon as possible, so they can book their flights. Regardless if I think third place still confirms them in a group stage, whether that's the Europa League or the Conference League. So it's definitely a big thing to go for, and it'd be a big success for Hearts to get that 2 seasons on the bounce. That'd be great for their finances, because I know they've had financial difficulty over the past decade or so. So now that they're a solid European outfit, that'll only be good for their finances. But not to turn into a Hearts podcast too much, just on tomorrow's game, you're hoping that Celtic can catch them cold. Maybe they're still buzzing over where they are in the table. I think they'll come out to play, Hearts. I'll be honest. I think they'll come out with nothing to lose whatsoever, and I hope that they make it as good a spectacle as they can. I want them to come out and play, because if they come and sit back, then Celtic struggle with teams that sit in a block or a low block or whatever. You want them to come out so that Celtic can hit them on the counter-attack. They've got the attacking players that have hurt Hearts previously in the past. Kyogo's got a good record against Hearts. Palmer's hurt them, even though I think he'll be starting from the bench. James Forrest has history with Hearts. It's so many players that can turn it on against this team. So you're hoping that tomorrow just everything works in perfect harmony, and the atmosphere then gets transferred onto the pitch and everybody's up for it. I'm really, really looking forward to tomorrow. I'm really optimistic about it. I'm just looking forward to the spectacle that will be in Celtic Park. I think the fans will be right up for this, and yeah, you're hoping that the supporters in the stands can roar the team on the pitch to another 3 points. Got to put the pressure on Rangers for the next day. You can't allow them to be playing a home game against Kilmarnock with less pressure or more anticipation that they can close that gap. it's got, if they're closing the gap, it must be to 3 points. It can't be to level pegging, or 1 point or whatever. It's got to be a win tomorrow. Win at all costs. It doesn't matter about the performance. I'd like something comfortable, but just win the game.
All that was missing there, Hamish, was Ryan with the bottles clinking, singing "Hearts Come Out to Play." For those who are familiar with the film The Warriors, there's a character that clinks bottles and asks the Warriors to come out to play. So
I get that
Ryan,
reference, Hamish.
Yeah, you get that reference, Ryan. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking there as you were saying. I hope they come out to play, but yeah, I think if they do come out to play, and you would imagine they would, because the shackles are off, really, aren't they? They're a confident team as well. They've patched you twice this season, so yeah. I think they would fancy, claiming Celtic scalp a third time. I know Stephen Naismith certainly would, wouldn't he? So I think you'll have his players well drilled and well up for it. So, do you know what? I think there's a right good game of football in prospect here. And I go with the commenter that said that Celtic are the better team, they are better players. But it's no saying it, it's doing it, as they say in Glasgow, isn't it? So go out and do it.
It almost seems like a bit of a petty comment to say that, Naismith will have Hearts up for it because it's Celtic, and even more so than he would against Rangers. But I do think there's a fair bit of truth in that. And, I think we know Lawrence Shankland, where his loyalties lie as well in terms of the team. So I think you're going to see a Hearts team that is very motivated. I just wonder if we were to get an early goal, whether they would have the fight to get back into it, given that they're, as I say, secured third. We're playing for something, Tony.
Yeah, of course.
Really. There is a difference there.
And I wasn't being petty. I based that comment on the fact that the way Hearts have played against Celtic this season.
100%.
You can't control the way they play against Rangers in any other teams. But I'm just going on the evidence that I've seen in the games that I've watched against Celtic, and they've come out the traps, quite a lot of them, and they've meant business. So I don't expect anything different tomorrow. But what I do expect is for Celtic to come out the traps too. And as you say, if Celtic can get an early goal, they'll have the crowd behind them. But we touched upon it the other day, even if it's not going Celtic's way and something, they go behind, then everybody has to just stay on target, stay on focus, and just, concentrate on the job at hand. It's not the end of the world. Ryan, you were at that 2-0 game. You've spoken about the atmosphere that day where all and sundry were getting it. People in the Celtic hierarchy and all that, and you described it as toxic. We just can't have anything like that, even if at any stage in the game Celtic, go behind or something adverse happens, a decision, a refereeing decision, call it what you like. Just got to channel all your energy into ignoring all the noise surrounding this fixture and just go and win a football match and do your job. And if they do that to the best of their ability, then Celtic will win the football match.
I think, there's been a fair bit of criticism of the team this year, on here, elsewhere, and a lot of it's been fair enough. I think the team over the last 7 matches since Tynecastle, I think the team have all 7 results have been really positive since then. 6 wins in that draw at Ibrox. I think the team have really got together and got their stuff together from a difficult position. They've really hung in and battled the team this season, and I think they always deserve our support. But I think tomorrow and next Saturday as well, but obviously we're only talking about tomorrow, they've really earned huge backing, and I think you guys are right. I think the atmosphere is going to be amazing. I mean, Patrick's saying Champions League atmosphere from the fans tomorrow. We can help our team over the line and make them feel they're a goal down already. We've got work to do, but we're really quite close to winning this league if we do the business this week and next week. Win both games, it's pretty much over. That's not a lot to ask, but equally, us as supporters, let's grab the team and get them over that finishing line. I think it will make a huge difference tomorrow. I think it'll be really loud. I think it'll be absolutely jam-packed. It's just such a great game, and I love the fact it's 3 p.m. I just think that's brilliant. When do you ever get as big a game as this at 3 p.m? They're usually at this stage of the season, they're 12 o'clock, half 12. It's 3 p.m on a Saturday. and it's going to be magic, Ryan. You must be really looking forward to it.
Yeah, probably one of the biggest games in the UK. Definitely this weekend. I know there's a title race going on down south, but it's one of these games that I think, I'm delighted that it's on at 3 p.m. But at the same time, this could have been one of the games that you used for the telly that would have been a great advert for Scottish football, because it's going to be electric. Celtic Park. This is what Celtic Park was made for. Games like this, tight opposition, or tight games. It might not be tight actually. You don't know how the game is going to go, but I think we're all assuming that it'll be a battle between the two sides. I'm just really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to sampling that atmosphere as you walk up to the stadium. Through the turnstiles, up through
buzz in the air,
stairs. Was it sorry you cut off there a wee bit?
There'll be a buzz in the air, I predict.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm looking forward to sampling that buzz. When I'm watching the game and writing about the game as well. I'm just really looking forward to it. It can't come soon enough. I've been looking forward to it since the final whistle at Dens Park, to be honest, because it's the next game. You always look forward to the next game. It's going to be a long pre-season, so you've just got to enjoy these moments. Celtic are in a title race. Whether or not they should be or not is a different question, but they're in one. They know what they need to do. 2 wins at home, and they essentially, by all accounts, win the league, I would say. Do your business at home and then go to Rugby Park and finish it off. I'm not looking too far ahead. Got to win the games that are in front of you, but put that pressure on, because we've seen what can happen with the other side of the city. I don't want to mention them too much. Pressure does get to them. That gets to both sides, but it can get to Rangers, especially when they've got games in hand. Put that pressure on them. Put the onus back on Rangers to claw the gap back ever so slightly. Let's see what can happen. I think a dominating performance tomorrow, if you could win it 3-4-0, if that is possible, would be an amazing message to send out to their competitors. It might not be like that. It might be close, but if you can do that, then what a message that would send out for the rest of the season, or for what's remaining of the season.
Blake asking if it's Kevin Clancy. Yes, it is. Kevin Clancy referee. VAR is Nick Walsh tomorrow. Those are the kind of headline things there. Craig saying they should be confident they have beat us twice in a row. Hamish, what was the year they last beat us 3 in a row? I believe it was 1961, which is not surprising really, but pretty cool. Maestro saying it's a great game to have. Players should have an extra oomph, and fans to get into them. Robert's talking about Gary Hooper, and Davies bringing up Happy Albert Kid Day. Tony, was it 38 years ago today?
38 years ago, yes. Celtic 5, St Mirren 0, and Dundee 2, Hearts 0, a double by Albert Kidd. Celtic had to win by 4 clear. They were 4 up at the interval, and scored one of the best footballing goals you'll ever see in Celtic history. The goal scorer shall remain redacted, but the others that were involved, Paul McStay, Danny McGrain, Brian McClare, indeed. The lime green strip. That's all. Whenever you see the lime green strip, that's you. Your mind flashes back to Love Street 86 for those that were fortunate to be there, and others who weren't alive, but you'll have been brought up on lots of clips of that wonderful footage of Jim Stewart holding the ball, former Rangers goalkeeper, and the Celtic end behind the goal just goes berserk because Dundee have scored, and it's wonderful. I was saying to you off air, my brother was there. He was 15. I was 13, going on 14. My brother was 15 or 16, and I asked to go, and he wouldn't take me because I think he wanted to go out celebrating with his friends if the result went his way, as he's wont to do. So I remember being really annoyed. But my father ran an amateur team, and I used to go and watch them religiously. So, and they were called Millerfield, and the players came from Dalmarnock and Bridgeton, but they were a mixture of Celtic and Rangers supporters in the team. So we were in a minibus heading back to their base camp, which was the Victoria Bar in Rutherglen, and Celtic won the title. And as a 13-year-old boy, I did what you would do. I got up all the Rangers supporters in my dad's football team, and there was a few angry men, I tell you, on that minibus. They were raging, and all the other Celtic boys were delighted. My dad was driving the bus, so I just remember punching the roof of the minibus and going absolutely wild as a 13-year-old boy would do, and annoying all the older guys because it seemed like good sport and good fun. But yeah, it was just a brilliant day, and I think for those of a certain vintage, it rates very highly in titles to win, because Hearts went on an incredible run. I think it was like they went on a 34, 36 game unbeaten run. I mean, just an incredible. I think they knocked Rangers out the Scottish Cup at Ibrox. They went there and they won 3-2, stuff like that. Or they beat them at Ting. I'm sure it was 3-2. They beat them in the Scottish Cup. You know, they were just unbeatable. And then it came to the last day, and you know, Celtic had to win by that margin, and Hearts had to lose, and nobody foreseen it, because I think the week before they'd gone to Tannadice and they'd battered Dundee United 3-0 or 3-1, and everybody just assumed it was going to be Hearts' title, and they were in the Scottish Cup final against Aberdeen as well, and they end up, you know, they had nothing to show for it. You know, there's footage of, you know, Dens Park, there's fans and tears and stuff like that, and you know, it's just it's one of those kind of moments in Celtic's history where you think the odds are stacked against you, but I think Celtic themselves had to win their last 10 or 11 matches, something like that, and they did it. And Davy Hayes' team triumphed in the end, and everybody who was there, or those who can remember it, it's certainly up there as one of the sweeter titles. And you know, I think the fact that there's still an Albert Kidd Celtic Supporters Club to this day tells you all you need to know, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask you that if you take Lisbon out of the equation, would that be possibly the second best day Celtic have enjoyed? I mean, I know we've beaten Barcelona recently and had other amazing nights and stuff, but in terms of the kind of pure emotion, that would surely be right up there.
I think it would certainly be in people's top 3 and top 5, that kind of thing. You know, so it's because it was a triumph against the odds, basically. Yeah. Sorry, Ryan, on you go.
Yeah, I think that would definitely be one of those days as well, Rangers as the day that Celtic stopped the 10.
Probably be up there.
You know, Celtic stopping the 10 against St Johnstone, Aberdeen Cup final in 2016, 2017, I think. It's up there.
4-2 in 79, 10 men won the league. My father says that's still the best game he's ever been to. And I think those who were there that night will tell you that the same. That's the kind of atmosphere they need tomorrow. You know, just everybody got behind the team. I mean, Celtic they had to win the match, and they were 1-0 and 2-1 down. I think Big Roy, you can talk about stuff. 10 men won the league. It's every time you talk about it, there's something else that you didn't know, and it's just entered into absolute folklore. So again, you know, in terms of ranking, I think it would certainly that win against St Mirren, that title win against St Mirren, it certainly, it depends how old you are, but it would feature in most people's top 3 or top 5. I would think, I would conjecture that would be the case. But as I say, another one was 79 game when I cried and I grabbed my dad's leg and I wouldn't let him leave my grand's house till he took me to my first ever Celtic Rangers game, and he didn't take me. And now, in hindsight, which is great, he always says he wishes he'd taken me just to experience how electric the jungle was that night, because seemingly it was an incredible place to be. And you know, I think they're the ones that, it's the goosebumps, isn't it? It's the hairs in the back of your neck. It's that excitement. It's why you're a football fan. You live for moments like this. You live for title races like this and moments to come along. And, you know, you round off a few there, Ryan, and yourself, Hamish, in your lifetime. They're just wonderful. You know, that Tom Roderick moment at Hampden for the invincible goal. I mean, it's like, you know, Ryan, you're smiling because I
get goosebumps thinking about that.
Yeah, you know, and people say, oh, I just press a button in my head as an old Polaroid camera, and I can just, it's a picture that's flashing, you know, I just see it. You know, so you say Love Street 86, yep. You know, 79 for other people who were there. You just pick a year, you pick a game. And Nick Hornby was right when he wrote Fever Pitch. Your life is lived out in seasons. It's not years. See if somebody says to you, what year was that? I don't know. And then say to you, it was this season. You go like that. Oh, yeah, bang, bang, bang. You know, you remember the past. You just remember weird detail. And everybody's got, every Celtic supporter, that's what makes it a family, in my opinion. because every Celtic supporter has their own story to tell of particular moments, and it's just taking that time to listen to them because they're all wonderful.
And the way this season is going, it's going to have a pretty dramatic end this season, regardless of whether it's good or bad. And certainly if it's good, it's going to be one that lives long in the memory. And the thing is, guys, like, we're into May now. Everything's going to be done and dusted by the 25th of May. The league's obviously a week earlier, so it's like, I've said this before this season, but just enjoy this kind of serenity at this stage, because over
it really
does
does.
the next 4 weekends, and I think they're all Saturdays as well, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
I don't know about you guys, but this feels like the calm before the storm tomorrow. This really does feel like the start of it. I know that all the previous games were big. That Celtic Rangers game at Ibrox was big, but tomorrow just feels mammoth. Because you've got to put yourself in the good position going into that Glasgow derby. At most 3 points clear, or at least 3 points clear rather.
Yeah.
You've got to put yourself in that position. But it's such a massive game tomorrow. I'm sure Brendan Rodgers will have it installed into his players how important tomorrow is. Not to look at that Rangers game that's next week. The next game is the most important, and that's the game against Hearts. This is a team that have beat you twice. Two times on the bounce in back-to-back games. Apart from that 4-1 win, they've beaten you the last 2 times. Go out and make a point. Show why that you should be the champions elect here. If you win the next 2 games, it's all about Celtic to stand up and be counted for in this title race now. If they can show that, then and play themselves into a bit of good form and a bit of a strong performance tomorrow, then I think it would go a long way into setting themselves up for next week. I just want to be in that position around about 5-6 o'clock tomorrow, where Celtic are now then looking forward to watching the Rangers v Kilmarnock game to see what's happening in that, knowing that they're 6 points clear. That's got to be the job for tomorrow. There can't be any slip-ups. Just got to go and do the business and make sure that they deal with their business.
It's got the feel of a special day tomorrow, hasn't it, Hamish? You mentioned it, 3 o'clock. Real old school football feeling to it tomorrow, and lots of people will do their usual rituals, but and here's hoping to do. But that, to me, that's a throwback to when football was football, and I'd like to think that lots of people, because it's a 3 o'clock kickoff, will maybe revert back to a traditional thing that they did before. Sky and TV started mucking about with football times. I'd like to think that. Because I tell you what I'd love to do. I'd love to go to the shops in the morning and buy a Roy the Rovers comic and come home and read it, and then get prepared and watch, Grandstand or World of Sport and the build up. That'd be magic. You know what I mean? I know I can't, but it's that kind of day for me tomorrow. That there's something special in the air. You said it. You can almost, you can smell it, you can taste it. There's something big going to happen either way. Shares can go up as well as down. Title races when you win are great, but you've been on the receiving end of some of them as well. So it's just because you can't script it. You don't know what's going to happen. It's that kind of uncertainty that hangs in the air that it makes it all worthwhile when you're a football supporter, isn't it? This is what you live for. You live for moments. Listen, I know some people's nerves can't hack it, and I get all that, but that's the nature of following your football team. It's in the song, win, lose or draw. Bottom line tomorrow epitomises that.
And there's real jeopardy there as well. Like, we're up against a decent enough side by Scottish football standards with a pretty good striker who, if you give him an opportunity, he'll take it. And we know that failure to win tomorrow puts it right back in the balance, and there's a derby to come the following week. So it's like, as much as I'm saying, and we're saying we're effectively 2 home wins away from nearly having this tied up, things could still go wrong. And like, that's, in a weird way, that's kind of exciting as well. That's why we're all feeling nervous. If we were 8 points clear, 10 points clear at this stage, we wouldn't be as buzzing for the game tomorrow. It would just be another step. But because there is that jeopardy that's why I've had the nerves all day, and I can't remember the last time I had real nerves for a home game against Hearts. So it's
Can you multiply that by 60,000?
Yeah.
You know what a cacophony of noise and there's few better, and I'll say it, few better amphitheatres to watch football in than Celtic Park when it's rocking. And tomorrow it will be rocking. Ryan will be there trying to work in between singing and stuff like that. Ryan, going off your nut, won't you?
No, I'll be working. I will be working. No, absolutely, I will be working. Yes, absolutely. I will be taking down my player ratings. Hopefully, there's more 7s and 8s than 5s or 6s. But that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. I'm just looking forward to sampling the atmosphere as well. Hopefully I can get a few videos as well that I can put on the Celtic Way social media accounts, because I think it's going to be absolutely rocking tomorrow. I think it's going to be such a bouncing atmosphere. It's like, I don't want to call it the dress rehearsal. I know I said that earlier on in the week, but it's a completely different game. You've got the Hearts game and the Rangers game, two massive games within 7 days of each other. It's huge. I couldn't think of a better fixture to precede the Glasgow Derby than Celtic Hearts at Celtic Park. There is no better fixture in the Scottish League for me, in terms of getting Celtic prepared for that.
Yeah, we said it on Monday. This is the fixture that everybody needs. Players, manager and fans alike. It's this one. It's not next week. It's this one.
Well, Brendan Rodgers thinks it's this one. He mentioned it after Dens Park last week. I think that's very telling and very interesting. Derek mentioning that as well. Brendan buzzing for tomorrow. Rodgers fancies it, and if he's letting on to you guys on Sunday that he fancies it, then he's been letting on to the players all week. So I think we're going to get a fast start tomorrow.
That was my takeaway from that, Hamish. Definitely, when you go round.
There's a twinkle in his eye, and you can see it in press conferences now. You can see that hunger that maybe wasn't there at the start of the season. I don't know if he was maybe charging himself up to get back into the swing of things. Maybe a couple of adverse results have worked in that way that have got him fired up for this season. But he's locked in now. He's ready to go from now until the end of the season. I was just watching the European football last night, and with Celtic, if they can win this league, if they can get this league tied up, they'll have 8 games in the Champions League next season. I'm desperate for Celtic to go on a European run. You see these teams. I know it's in the Europa League and Conference League, what I was watching last night, but for me, I've never really seen Celtic win a knockout tie before. I was too young to remember Barcelona. I was too young to really remember Seville as well. So, if Celtic can get the league sorted and then potentially even get into the playoff rounds of that Champions League Swiss table, then that's definitely something to look forward to. But 8 games, I know they'll be playing 8 games regardless, because if they don't qualify for the Champions League, they'll do the same in the Europa League. What a chance, to get further on in European competition, playing 8 games against both teams that are better than you and teams that are on the same level too. It's something to look forward to, but they've got to deal with domestic matters first before they dream about European runs.
Yeah, it doesn't start tomorrow, but it all continues tomorrow. Do the business, and everything else will fall into place. But the thing is, we don't know with this Celtic team, and not to end on a slight downer, but all season we've kind of not known what to expect, and the last couple of performances haven't been great. So as much as I've said, like in over the last 7 matches since Tynecastle, they've earned massive support tomorrow, I think they've also got a point to prove, both against Hearts and also given the last couple of matches. I know we won both of them eventually, but let's go out and start strong and show everyone that we are the best team in Scotland, and that we're going to go and win a double this season. Hearts won't live with us. Hamish, give us a score prediction. 7-0. Nah. 6-0. I don't know. 2-1. Is that all right, Thomas? I don't know. I don't really do score predictions.
I know Tony and I will do score predictions tomorrow right before the game, but I'm feeling, and usually Tony either goes 1 up or 1 down from me. I don't know if I might need to throw a spanner in the works so that it has to do a high score line. But yeah, I'm confident for tomorrow. I'm just looking forward to today the press conference. They'll take care of themselves. Looking forward to hearing what Brendan Rodgers and the player has to say about the game tomorrow, especially with the recent history that Celtic and Hearts have faced this season. But tomorrow will take care of itself. Once 3 o'clock, once they're over that white line, it's going to be electric, and I can't wait to sample it.
Kyogo will score at least 2 goals tomorrow. There's a prediction for you. Tony, anything you want to say before we head off?
I was just waiting for the dogs to calm down there. But yeah, I've got a good feeling about tomorrow. Just something in my bones telling me that Celtic will be all right. Trust those players, I trust the manager. And I just kind of trust the crowd as well. Trust the supporters, because I think they know what it means. And I think there's going to be a real love-in tomorrow with the players and the manager and the fans. So, yeah, I'll take Celtic to win, certainly, yeah.
Remember, just quickly, I remember Patrick Roberts and Ronnie Dyler's second season, where he was the sort of enigma that got Celtic over the line. I remember games against Aberdeen at home. I think he scored against Hearts at home as well. I may be wrong in that, but I remember him coming inside and getting a shot away and getting shots from wide. I just think that tomorrow could be that game for Nicholas Kuhn. I don't know why. I've just got this funny feeling about a player to just come alive when it really matters. He didn't. He had a good start to the game against Dundee, but I think there's more to come from him. He's up and down with his form at the minute, which is to be expected for a player coming in January. I think a pre-season will do him the world of good. He's a guy that can cause teams problems, especially at home, and I'm looking forward to seeing if he can cause a wee bit of mayhem tomorrow afternoon.
Fabulous. Sorry if you wonder what I'm laughing at. There's a comment came in there that was pretty funny. They probably know who they are. But anyway, right, we're going to head. Thanks, guys, for your time. You guys will be doing a video later today, is that right?
Yep. After the press conference, so we'll be talking about everything that Brendan Rodgers and a player has to say about the upcoming game. So we'll probably be on about 5-6 o'clock, round about that time.
All right. Very nice. Enjoy your day tomorrow. Goes for you all as well. Try and enjoy it. Hopefully it's a good one. And yeah, I'll be back on Monday. I'll give a final shout out just for this quickly. 6 months of access for the Celtic Way for £1 plus a free Kyogo for a Hashi print from a renowned football artist made by Frankie. Lots of build up to the game on there from you two and some other contributors as well. Right, as I say, try and enjoy tomorrow. Hopefully we can take a big step towards 3 in a row. I'll be back